We continue in the context of the beginning of Jesus' public life. In this Tuesday's Gospel, we continue reading the first chapter of St. Mark, where we are given details about the beginning of Jesus' ministry. We highlight the following aspects. The first is that Jesus chose Capernaum, and this is emphasized in today's Gospel, Capernaum as the main place where he would carry out the ministry of his public life. Why? Because possibly Capernaum within Galilee was the meeting point between the Jewish world and the pagan world. In Capernaum, there was also a Roman garrison and the customs for trade coming from Syria. Therefore, Capernaum represents going out into the world in the context of Galilee. The second detail to highlight is that when he arrives in Capernaum, where does he go to preach? He goes to preach in the synagogue. He is a Jew, and his main place of preaching has always been the synagogue, until he is expelled from it. Jesus had not come to found another religion. No. He was a Jew and came to fulfill the promises that God had made to the people of Israel. Therefore, he enters the synagogue like every Jew on the Sabbath and begins his public ministry there. The surprise for those who heard him was to see that he preached with authority, that he had a word full of wisdom when reading and interpreting the Torah, the Word of God. And the second great surprise was to see that when an attendee at the synagogue who was possessed by an unclean spirit manifested himself, Jesus also showed his authority over Satan. With incredible authority, he told him, "Be quiet and come out of him," ordering him with full authority. And that man was freed from that unclean spirit. Thus, the way Jesus presents himself at the beginning of his public life is by showing the authority of his word, because it is the Father who has given him full authority. He is the revealer of the Father, and his word is a word of liberation from the oppression that Satan exerts on souls. Thus begins the ministry, the public life of Jesus Christ.